next section, I have just skipped a little bit in the stave, where they're asking him again whether he will give a donation. He says nothing. They say, oh, you wish to be left anonymous. Oh, you want to make a donation without giving your name. That's very kind. And then he says, I wish to be left alone. Okay. I don't make myself merry at Christmas. And I can't afford to make idle people merry. So that is a key quote there. I can't afford. So he's saying he doesn't have enough spare money. Now, he does. He's a rich business owner. He can afford, but it's not what he means. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to give any money to the poor. And look at the way he describes them. He uses the word idle. And the word idle, spelt like that, it means lazy. He is describing all poor people here as lazy, as if they are in their situation because they're not working hard enough. Now, if we think about the Victorian times, if you were poor, you couldn't afford to go to school because you had to pay to go to school, and your family probably needed you to go and work in a factory of some kind. Think about Dickens when he was a young boy. He had to leave school to go and work in a factory. So if you're not getting a good education, then you're never going to better yourself. You can't go then and be a business owner in the upper class or the middle class because of your education. And he's just describing them as lazy. So it's a very ignorant view. The word ignorance is a key word in A Christmas Carol. And this is a key quote to show Scrooge's ignorance. Okay, he says, I help to support the establishments I have mentioned. So in his taxes, everyone pays tax. He supports the prisons and the workhouses. He pays in his tax for those establishments. And he thinks that he pays too much for that. They cost enough. He doesn't want to give any charity. The charitable gentlemen then say, many can't go there, and many would rather die than go to the workhouse. People would rather die than go there because the situation is so dire. This next quote then is one of the most shocking quotes in the novel, and it shows Scrooge as a caricature. That means almost like a metaphor, an exaggeration of the entire upper class's view of the poor. If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. So he said, well, I'd be glad if they died. If they'd rather die, I want them to die, because then it would decrease the surplus population. That means the extra. There are too many people living in this country. There are too many poor people. So if some of them want to die, they should die. And that adjective surplus, it's maybe how you would describe vermin. Like if you had like a rat infestation, or some kind of like pest infestation, you might describe it as a surplus. So that's how he's comparing the poor to rats, to vermin, something to be exterminated. And he's happy that those people have said they would rather die. And it's an extremely shocking thing for someone to say. And Dickens is doing that. So people, when they read this novel, they are shocked and horrified, and they try and distance themselves from Scrooge. You don't want to admit that that's your opinion. And we're hoping that over the course of the novel, he might change his ways on this view.